An eviction moratorium is finally issued, protecting renters, apartment owners from mortgage forbearance, mortgage foreclosure, and rent eviction. But what do you need to know as we go forward? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LALATE, our 2-hour programming block that starts every day with the check, then goes to hazard pay, then FPUC, and then rent. Big, exciting news overnight, as this channel had been reporting for weeks. Finally happened. An eviction moratorium was issued. An eviction moratorium that protects you if you're a renter from being evicted from your home, that ensures that if you're an apartment renter, that you won't be thrown on the street, that if you rent a house, you won't be thrown on the street, that if you own a home, that your home won't be foreclosed upon. Incredible, incredible relief. But there's always a but. There's some eligibility concerns you need to be alert of. There's some issues that you need to watch for to ensure that you have protections. And then you have to actually be ensured that you are among the candidates that actually qualify for the protection in the face of landlords that don't follow the law. All right, let's get to the incredible details. A CDC eviction moratorium was announced overnight, and we're like, CDC? What do you mean CDC? That CDC? Yes. What happened was that, and what I'm telling you this is that you have to have a copy of this order ready for you at all regards. CDC issued the eviction moratorium overnight, and the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance I'll call collectively as eviction moratorium for simplicity in this video. They issued it pursuant to the executive order of the president 3 weeks ago. Remember that eviction moratorium order, executive order the president issued that I've been detailing every day at 5 o'clock on this channel, that didn't do much of anything, that I said it was messed up, the president needs to fix it. I said Steve and Chuck or someone needs to tell the president, please fix that order. And he wasn't doing it. What's that order? Now that order has been ostensibly fixed by manner of the CDC. What CDC has done is they took the authority granted to them under that order to issue the order which was issued overnight. The executive order gave them the authority to issue the executive order overnight, to issue the eviction moratorium order overnight, and here we are. All right, first, who is protected? First, it covers residential evictions, not commercial evictions. So if you're a commercial tenant, you cannot get protection under it. Second, it bans evictions of homeowners or renters, meaning it covers apartment and house tenants. It does not protect commercial tenants. Third, it also prevents residential mortgage foreclosures. It doesn't protect apartment building foreclosures. It doesn't protect commercial building foreclosures. Fourth, the coverage ends end of 2020, as one viewer said. That's not very good thinking. So basically, everyone's going to be evicted in January? Currently, yes. Finally, it does not cover everyone. All right, so get out a pen and paper, and you need to understand what you need to do. First, it covers those who would normally fall under a stimulus check of the CARES Act. Who are they? Well, if you got a stimulus check, then it's you. But let me make very clear. It only benefits individuals with incomes under $99,000. Okay, individuals, 2019, income under $99,000. It also protects married couples, 2019 income of $198,000 or less. Those are the two numbers you need to know. If you received a first stimulus check, you need to really get any documentation you have right now to verify that if you are in this type of situation with an eviction moratorium. You need to get a copy of the check or proof of deposit in your bank, or if you received it by electronic, print out the receipt of electronic deposit in your bank. Anything that shows $1,200 landed in your bank account for purposes of stimulus check, you need to get that, because ultimately it's going to be part of your prove up that you qualify for this. Now, if you don't have that, You're going to have to really figure out something else that you can do to verify that existence. Now, if you get the second stimulus check, it's easy. I mean, that's, but I'm talking about a situation before you get the second stimulus check and you're facing eviction right now and the landlord's saying, well, I think you made more than $98,000 last year. No, I didn't. The ultimate best evidence, of course, is your tax return, which you may or may not want to show your landlord. But the relief comes as LA has been reporting the slowness of the Trump administration to get executive orders fixed for eviction moratorium for, 4 weeks. The order enables to halt upwards of 40 million evictions across the country, the worst since the Great Depression. Now that you know what it is, let me explain what you need to be alert about of what it doesn't protect. Now, first, we already went over the eligibility people. There's some people just simply ineligible. If your 2019 earnings individual are over $99,000, if you're a married couple, your joint 2019 earnings were income was over $198,000, not eligible. If it's a commercial situation, not eligible. If it's a multi-family unit of building, not eligible. But what is also not eligible? What's also not eligible is no inherent relationship of tenancy. No one really talks about this. If you are a month-to-month tenant, the landlord can evict you. The landlord can evict you. If you don't have a lease with the landlord may be able to evict you as well. If you don't have anything that substantiates your tenancy in the apartment past today, then the landlord may be able to evict you as well. People think that because you're doing something, that relationship is established by your existence. Not necessarily true. On the other hand, landlords want to do the opposite. You may have a lease and the landlords don't want to honor the lease. You may have a lease and an eviction moratorium and the landlords may not want to honor the eviction moratorium. You may watch this channel and say, hey, and then go to get the CDC document, you get the tax, you get your stimulus check, you got everything ready, and the landlord says, I don't care. See you on the street. Landlords do that. I've been detailing and doing that video ad nauseum for several weeks. Under the first stimulus package, landlords did it. They violated the first eviction moratorium on this first stimulus package. There was no penalty clause in there, and they did it. What ultimately happened was a lot of tenants who did not have the financial wherewithal to fight a tenancy dispute with their landlord just left. It was cheaper for them to leave than fight an eviction proceeding. The same thing will happen again. There is nothing in the current eviction moratorium that gives a penalty clause. As I have been warning for all this week long, citing Harris, the VP nominee with Biden, her bill in the Senate created a penalty clause, created a fund to give legal defense, created a whole agency to do legal defense for landlords that don't follow eviction moratoriums. Remember all those videos? It's not in this eviction moratorium. So you have an incredible thing. You absolutely have an incredible relief, but I want you to be absolutely realistic of the situation that some landlords absolutely violate the law like it doesn't matter. And when that happens, what are you going to do? Ultimately, you can decide on your own accord what you're going to do. There's a lot of free or low cost or discounted legal defense funds out there in every jurisdiction across the country, but landlords do violate the law. Next, if you're not really in a lease environment with a landlord, how will this protect you? It won't. It simply won't. I'm sure there's some tenants, some viewers of this channel who are starting new leases right now. Let's say you start a new lease tomorrow after an eviction moratorium was issued last night. Does it give you protections? Yes. This is what's really great news. How about mortgages? Same thing. Only problem is now you're dealing with a bank that has more funds to deal with you in other ways, and they may ultimately just not follow the rules as well. So what do? What you do is you ensure that you have a tenancy. You ensure that you have a lease, that you ensure that it was signed, that you ensure that the lease covers the period at issue, which is now to December. That's the first thing you insure. Then you ensure that you're eligible. You ensure any documentation to verify your eligibility for first stimulus check, to verify that you made $98,000 or less, $99,000 or less last year, to ensure you made $198,000 or less last year. If you did not file tax returns, boy, this is one of those situations that things are going to sort of not be easy. You need to verify what your economic situation is. Finally, there's all that catch-all that is very disconcerting and very confusing. What will happen with landlords who try to evict you for things other than paying rent? It may happen. Landlords may ultimately see rent as not the way to get you on the street, but another way, the dog barking, the loud music, and that may ultimately be the byproduct on eviction moratorium, that landlords may try to evict you for something other than rent. And so what you need to do when you look at the CDC law, the CDC order, is see whether or not they can evict you for anything. And if it only protects you for eviction for rent, then really protect yourself and ensure you don't do any other conduct that could get you evicted for that catch-all. Ultimately, that's what landlords do. They will try to evict you for something other than rent if they see that out. In California, 3 days ago, I think it's about 3 days ago, the governor finally announced an agreement between different groups to get an eviction moratorium in place in California. That one specifically has a provision in there that if you're loud and obnoxious, they can evict you irrespective of whether or not, or despite whatever or not, there is an eviction moratorium in for rent. Please don't send me tweets that says there is no such word as irrelevant, or it just, you know the word I was. Irregardless, I just don't want to have discussions about that word. Look up Merriam-Webster. 55 comments coming in 10 seconds about irregardless. Here we go again. That's why I just avoid saying that word. It's like the Temple of Doom for my dictionary here today. I just don't say her name. So that's what you need to be alert about. Finally, these protections for eviction moratorium are only for eviction and only for mortgage forbearance. So if you are fearful of something else, it doesn't protect you. It doesn't protect you for utilities. It doesn't protect you for turning off your telephone, turning off your water, turning off your gas. I think that's sort of obvious, but I have to say it. It does not give you those protections. Finally, it does not relieve you of the obligation to pay your rent. And so what's ultimately going to happen is that unless the second stimulus package, second round in October is done for rent, that gives you money for rent, what's going to happen is when this eviction moratorium expires, which currently is January 1 approximately, you're going to see insane amounts of evictions across the country. And there'll be absolutely no relief, and we'll be in the thick of winter. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? This is why people just don't like politicians. They just seem to never really think things through. I'm thinking things through, and you are too. So as we think, let's go to the front channel and that subscribe and alert button. The subscribe button is to ensure that you get alerts when something goes live, which was this. I mean, I literally sent out an alert last night at close to, what was it, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As this was announced, I had details of what was going on, the thresholds, the eligibility. This was so critical. I mean, literally within half an hour, I was getting messages from people showing me they had gotten eviction notices just in the last 24 hours. This is why you need to subscribe and hit alerts for a channel that gives you information about financial issues that could be hitting you literally by the minute. Those financial issues can be the difference of you on the street or in your home. And sure enough, if there ever is anything more important than the eviction moratorium, this is why you had to have subscribed to hit up alerts. So you got that message last night. Next, like the videos. If there's ever a video to like, it's this one. Liking the video ensures that this video appears higher in the ranks before other videos will tell you wrong information that doesn't provide you the helpful information you need to survive this pandemic, to get second stimulus relief timely, quickly, in the manner in which you're obligated to get it, rather than be told crazy stories like, you're getting a $20,000 stimulus check tomorrow. And, you know, this, and, you know, all the other Vogue performers doing those wonderful thumbnails. So please like the video. Coming up this evening is Evenings LA with 2 big blockbuster videos. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused. and stay in LA for more.